Hi friends, my dandelions. For anybody new to the channel, we call this the dandelion channel. Dandelion as in the flower, not the weed. And we changed it to dandelion. The lion is the king of the jungle with confidence, and he's a dandy. But the dandelion is a symbol of strength. In fact, it's the symbol of a military child because the dandelion can root anywhere, take root anywhere and thrive, just like military children, of which I am one. I am a proud military brat. My father was career Air Force. We moved every 2 years. Wouldn't trade it for the world. But dandelions are tenacious and tough, even though they look like a little delicate flower. Pansies are too, I've learned. We always say pansies, oh, he's a pansy, weak. They're not weak. We had that 5 days of snow and ice covering our yard, and when it melted, my pansies, they're still there and they're thriving. I picked off the bad heads. They're coming right back. Those are tough little flowers. I don't know why we refer to people as weak and call them pansies. So anyway, this is a dandelion channel, but it could be the pansy channel. Okay, I'll stick with dandelions. Maybe you're right. Listen, I think most of you are here for the parent-child estrangement topic, even though I am talking about cheating between husband and wife. I haven't gotten back to that yet. We have been, our lives have been on upheaval since January 6th. We found out my husband was losing his job at the end of the month, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, we put the house on the market just because we felt like we would pay off some bills, and get a little financially better since he wasn't going to have a job. And it's been a roller coaster ever since. So I think we're coming on the tail end of that turmoil now. But as you see, I'm camping out in my own house. That most everything is out, only the essentials, and we will close on this house on March the 6th, and we won't close on the other house till hopefully March 13th, a week away, a week after that. And our buyer has graciously allowed us to stay here for that week. We're going to rent our own house back from him for a week. And then, please, by the grace of God, let that domino fall and we can move into the other house. Okay, on the parent-child estrangement. And listen, if you want to tell me in the comments which relationship you're having issues with and what we can talk about. I'm not a therapist. Uh, I'm someone who has done a lot of self-help reading on different issues. Um, I haven't had a perfect life with my mother, with my daughter, with my husband, with friends. What's the common denominator? I don't know why. I don't know why I'm living this life where people want to hurt me. I don't know. Ain't nobody got time for that. That's the way I feel. But I found this and I thought it was appropriate for this channel. I stopped calling my son 3 years ago. It was the hardest thing I have ever done. For months, I was the parent who chased. I sent text messages that stayed on read, or the read receipt. He read it, but he didn't answer. I left voicemails that went unanswered. I begged for 5 minutes of his time, pleading to know why he had cut me off. I was desperate, wondering where I went wrong. I replayed every mistake I had made since he was a toddler. How many of you are in that boat? I don't think I chased my daughter that hard in the beginning. I know I cried a river. At first, I played tough, like, well, maybe you shouldn't call me at all. I was so angry with her. And then when she took me at my word, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean don't call me. So you never know how to handle these things. And nobody's perfect. And, you know, grown kids need to try to give your folks a pass. They're doing the best they can. If they truly are doing the best they can. I know there are some parents out there who do not deserve another chance for abuse and all different kinds of things. I get that. I was losing my dignity, and that is really it. When you lower, making yourself available is one thing. Making yourself a doormat and lowering yourself only teaches them that it's okay to treat you that way. I was losing my dignity. Oh, here it is. I was teaching him that my love was cheap, something he could ignore and trample on. And I'll still be here, good old faithful mom. Treat me like doo-doo. And I'll be there. Y'all, I've been there myself. I've done that. I have a son who has treated me abysmally, abominably, whichever word you want to use. Horrible. And then the minute the glimmer came and he seemed like his old self, all was forgotten. Here I am, mom to the rescue, you know. I wish I hadn't done it, but you can't, you know, you do the best you can at the time. Then I read something that changed my life, and here it is. And there she is. That's Priscilla, our calico cat, who is so needy for attention, so needy. When we went on the cruise and she stayed with my sister, she stayed holed up in her little bedroom. She would not come out. She hid for 10 days. So now she is desperate for affection. Anyway, I read something that changed my life. True love is not forced. It is shown through actions. Sometimes silence is the loudest way to love. So I stopped. I didn't block him. I didn't write a nasty post on Facebook about ungrateful children. I didn't badmouth him to the neighbors in our quiet suburb or to other family members. That's important. That's the mistake I made. I complained to my grandmother and my aunt about my daughter. I complained to her brothers, you know, what's wrong with her? Why is she doing this? Blah, blah. Stop. You don't need a community of support, even though you probably do, but it's not the way to get it. I simply let go. It wasn't out of anger. It was out of respect for him and for myself. Boy, that's important. The child has made their decision, and you have to respect it. You don't understand it, but as an adult, adult to adult, and respect yourself. You deserve better than that. I realized my job was done. I had raised him. I sat in the bleachers for every Little League game. Not only did I sit in the bleachers, my husband coached every Little League game he was in. I had great tans back then. It wasn't until we moved to Oregon where there's no sun that I found out I was a white girl. My tan faded. I worked double shifts at the plant to pay for his college so he wouldn't drown in student loans. I didn't do that. Two of my children got military GI Bills to pay for their college, and the one who's treated me so badly, he's paying back student loans. We didn't have the means or the funds to do that. But he was smart enough. He could have gotten a scholarship. I taught him right from wrong. I gave him values. If those seeds were planted deep enough, they would grow. If not, here's an important line. My tears wouldn't water them anyway. At some point, your conscience has to be clear. You did your job. You did your part. You got to sit back now. I decided to live. I fixed up the old porch. I started volunteering at a local food bank. I found peace in my own routine. That is where I am. I still have a life. She's living her life, apparently just fine without me. I have to live my life. I have to find my own joy and know that I did the best I could. If I dwell on it, sure, I can bring myself to tears right now. If I dwell on it, I wanted him to know that if he ever looked back, he wouldn't see a broken old man waiting by the phone. He would see a father standing tall, at peace with his conscience. I learned that your calm is the greatest lesson you can teach from a distance. Desperation and begging is teaching the wrong lesson. Confidence and calm. 3 Christmases passed. The chair stayed empty. I didn't carry the guilt anymore. I trusted the process. Life has a funny way of teaching people what matters, usually when they are busy making other plans. And last Tuesday, a car pulled into the driveway. It wasn't a holiday. It wasn't a birthday. Wouldn't that be a wonderful thing? If a car pulled into my driveway right now, I could cry right now just thinking about it. Oh, happy day, as Elvis sang. I opened the door. The son said, I didn't know if you'd want to see me. His voice was cracking. He said, I just had a son, and I realized I didn't know how hard it was. I didn't know. Maturity had finally arrived. He understood. I didn't ask for an apology. I didn't ask where he had been. Genuine love seeks no revenge, only peace. If my daughter showed up right now, no blame. Just come in. I love you. I opened the screen door and I smiled. I said, there's always a plate for you here. Come inside. So if you're chasing a child who is running away, just stop. Breathe. You cannot demand a relationship. And we've talked about that in past videos. They are an adult. It is their decision. It takes 2 people to want a relationship, and you can't change it. You've had control over that person's life for 18 years. It's hard to let that go, but you have to. You cannot demand a relationship. You cannot force a connection. Let them go without resentment. Trust what you have sown in their hearts and live your life with dignity. And if they return, and that's a big if, I know there's a very good possibility I will never see my daughter again. Oh, I could cry right now thinking about it. I can't dwell on it. If they return, welcome them home, not with a grudge, but with grace. Because in the end, love isn't about holding on tight. It's about keeping that door unlocked. Yeah, you have to be the bigger person. Are you up to that challenge? Don't throw away the rest of your life for another person's decision. Y'all take care.